Now this is underrated, heavily underrated. Yo, what's up guys, welcome to a new episode of Overrated, Underrated. It's a new series here on my channel. I'm gonna talk about things that are overrated or underrated or properly rated in Valorant, and I'm gonna get some help from my editor, Grin. He's gonna read out some of these topics, and if you have any topics that you would want me to rate, basically, just write them in the comment section down below, and let's get this started.
Stinger nerfs.
Stinger nerf. I feel like Stinger is overrated now. Like, it's a really weird weapon, especially on long range. It's really nasty. Medium range, long range, I wouldn't... I go it sometimes, I pick it sometimes, but usually I feel like Stinger now just feels awful compared to like even a Bucky. Stinger on long range doesn't feel that good, and any decent aim with a pistol can take out a Stinger on long range. I would invest more into a Sheriff and heavy shields instead of heavy shields and Stinger like before. Obviously, if we go short range, that's a different matter. And if we're talking short range, then for sure, keep it the same. It's properly rated there, but otherwise in general, it's heavily overrated now.
The Yoru buff. The
most recent Aurora Buff. I feel like Yoru was tiny. He got a tiny buff, and it's a good buff for... He's I feel like he's properly rated. He's like the same level as before. He's not like too strong, but he's also not too weak. And with the recent buff, he feels like he's easier to pick up for beginners. It's way easier to just access some of the kit to give in for your teammates when you're in the ulti, like with the minimap and stuff. It's way easier to see where the range is for the orb and all those things, and just easier to maneuver with Yoru, so properly rated.
The Valorant Champions Tour.
Valorant Champions Tour. Now this is underrated, heavily underrated, and the reason for that is because in VCT, they have a lot of really good players, and how would you know that Immortals beat Envy heavily? How would you know? Well, you wouldn't know if you didn't watch it. It's in these series, in these like tournaments, where you find the really niche strats, the cool strats, or just new meta. That like, this is where the meta comes from. It trickles down from pro play into ranked, and then from higher ranks down to lower ranks, and so on and so forth. It's where it all starts. So I heavily recommend everyone to check it out. It's heavily underrated.
The Celestial Knife.
The Celestial Knife. I feel like this one is properly rated. Everyone knows that it's good. Everyone knows what it looks like. Everyone wants it. I personally love the animation. It is super nice. I could have used maybe some variation on the other skins, like upgrades, but the knife, perfect. It's perfect. Especially the animations.
Marshal buff.
The most recent Marshal buff. Now this one, Marshal in general, now is gravely underrated for the price. It's cheaper, stronger range with the scope, and also the movement speed way better as well. And it was more like a medium range to long range weapon before, but now you can challenge way better on long range, and you can feel that. Like, it's way easier to get a headshot with it. And it doesn't feel like a weak long range weapon, and I highly recommend checking out the Marshal. It's one of my new favorite weapons, and I think it's gravely underrated right now.
Aggressive Cypher plays.
Aggressive Cypher plays. I think aggressive Cypher plays are very underrated. They can be overrated as well, but I feel like they are very underrated in the sense that you can feel when a Cypher is aggressive and owns you, compared to a Raze when she's aggressive and owns you. Like, sure, that double blast pack looking like a Call of Duty kill streak and you own someone with a bazooka. But when there's a Cypher playing aggressive, pushing through a smoke, just owning, tap, you know, headshots all around, just one-tapping people and doing some outplays, like you can feel that in your bone almost. And I really love playing a Cypher aggressively, especially when you're like ending up in the zone, so to say. Like you just keep on rolling, and you can feel that roll. And I feel like it's underrated how strong he can be when he is aggressive. And too many players focus on the defensive aspect of Cypher. And for those that don't play Cypher, they don't even see that aggressive side of Cypher, what he can do, and how you can just totally outplay your opponents with your mind games, basically. Your smokes, your trapwires, your cameras. You can fake being defensive even. And yeah, heavily underrated.
Reyna nerf.
Reyna nerf. Properly rated. Who likes Reyna maze? Well, there are some cool Reyna maze out there. But Reyna, you know, nobody wants a Reyna just taking over the game. We all know what it feels like to get owned by Reyna. It doesn't feel good. It feels more like... It feels like you get scammed. Yeah, the previous Reyna, whenever she would kill me, I would feel scammed. But with the new Reyna now, you know, feels okay. Feels decent. Properly rated, I think. Everyone is on the same page with that, except the Reyna mains.
Cypher on Icebox.
Cypher on Icebox. Now, Cypher on Icebox is also very underrated. Very many people ask me, is Cypher viable on Icebox? And then early on, it felt like Cypher wasn't viable on Icebox. However, after playing Icebox over and over and over, learning Icebox, learning the timings, the angles and everything, he feels very good. He's way better than Killjoy in my opinion, because not only do you have the traps and so on that you can cover flanks with, granted, there are not like sick trap wires you can do, there are no sick one-ways, there are some, but it's more like cheese. However, the cameras are insane for Icebox. It's really, really easy to get really easy information, like good information early on, and you can scout exactly where opponents go, and then you can prepare for headshot angles, or you can duel them and just straight up own the enemy team. So very underrated on Icebox.
Aimlab.
Aimlab for aim practice. I feel like Aimlab is properly rated right now. It is not too unknown, but it's like most people know about Aimlab. However, I feel like not everyone knows about the key, like the key to good aim. And one of those keys are the custom playlist or scenarios. And my favorite scenario, or well, playlist, you go to the workshop mode, click playlist, and then check out the charlatan playlist. Like that's how I get my aim. That obviously I'm not best aimer at all. Like I have to work for my aim. However, charlatan's playlist, especially the extreme training one, really helped out. And I keep recommending it to people. And if you struggle with your aim, definitely check out Aimlab. But to mention if it's overrated, underrated, properly rated. I feel like it's where it should be.
Cypher's anime skin.
Cypher's anime skin. Now, it's for the Guardian, right? And I've checked it out. It looks cool. But who plays Guardian as Cypher? Who plays Guardian as Cypher? I don't know if it's a Cypher type of a gun, because you use more Vandal and Phantom as Cypher, especially Phantom when you go for the one-ways. But maybe I'm gonna check out more Cypher, like Guardian, maybe. I feel like as a Cypher player, it's a very nice skin, especially since I main him, like, would be nice to have it. But it's a shame that it's on Guardian, because I don't play Guardian that much, and I don't know that many Cypher players that do. But it could be worth checking out Guardian, like on Icebox, where you play more long range, you play for the duels, and one taps with like Vandal and so on can be replaced with Guardian, and it could be cool there. Yeah, there's Clear Card and the Gun Buddy though. I like those a lot, and those are, I feel like those are heavily underrated. I'm gonna cop those.
One-way smokes.
One-way smokes. I feel like one-way smokes can be a bit overrated right now, because many players know about the one-way smokes. However, if it's one-way smokes on very niche locations like behind lamps, behind bathroom, very weird one-ways there, you know, compared to the common ones on split B site or ascent A site, etc. Like those work really well, but they can be a bit too common sometimes, and the normal smokes can start to become underrated, because if you have the tripwires and just normal smokes, you can still outplay opponents, even though you can't see their legs or something and have an advantage that way. But you can do some crazy outplays with smokes that you adapt on the fly, or just placing them on the ground and then faking with a normal one-way, and then that one-way disappears, enemies push in, bam, activate that smoke, and suddenly they trigger the tripwires, because you can hide your tripwires with the smokes. That's not as easy with one-ways, because one-ways have very specific positions, and sometimes it's very difficult to get the edges of the smoke to line up with the tripwire, and that's where normal smokes can be way stronger. So I would say a tiny bit overrated on one-way smokes. And that was the episode of Overrated Underrated Valorant Edition. If you guys want to leave a comment for what you would want me to rate next time, drop it down below. Make sure that you also tell me what you think about this. It's a new type of content, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.